Any indication yet on when he's ready to go?
Yeah, pretty sooner than later.
Tonight?
No, not sooner than later. No actual time frame yet. We'll let him get some 5-on-5 time. Tested out very well through the physical yesterday. So again, it'll probably be a day-to-day type thing. Probably be disappointed if it's a couple-week process. So I think probably get a better feel. I would say in the next 2 or 3 games, but it'll be a better feel once we get to get some bodies laid on.
Could be next week then.
Could be. We'll see. We have no exact time frame though.
Health-wise, where are you guys going into tonight?
And obviously no Dylan Larkin, and we've got a couple guys just battling some flu stuff. So we'll have our 12 and 6 here, but obviously Dylan's a big miss.
When Patrick's ready to go, I mean, obviously you're looking at a couple of games. You don't know what will happen in those couple of games. But
Yep.
I mean, where's your head at and where it hopes like?
Well, obviously, I think we can help our power play. Obviously, there's a little chemistry with Alex. We'd probably give that a look. Again, just like any other player, we want to put him in the best opportunity to be successful and his skill set. So I think we'd foresee him with some pretty good forwards.
So you could, like, if Dylan's back, could it be Dylan?
Potentially, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Potentially, yes, absolutely.
Have you ever had a situation where you've had to integrate someone like that in the middle of the season?
Not quite. I guess it's a little bit different. I mean, obviously, you deal with things like that, the trade deadline, a unique situation, and I think our second Stanley Cup in Tampa when Coach showed up day one of the playoffs. So it was a little bit different like that. Obviously, we were very familiar with the player. But again, very similar, not knowing where he was physically. Coach actually probably came back a little bit ahead of schedule, or maybe a little bit early, probably wasn't 100%, and we had to put him into our process. So we'll have some time here. We'll get some practices with him. We'll get some skates with him. We'll get a gauge on how he feels and go from there.
Because of what he's coming off of in the rehab, I mean, how much battle do you want to put him through before he does get it?
Yeah, we'll be smart about that. So I think that's where that unknown time frame is. Again, I think we'll be cautious with it, and again, kind of get a feel on how he is with everything too. But obviously, he's eager. We had even a little talk this morning on a potential time frame. I just think cautious and patient would be the 2 words. Our approach with it.
What's the plan for Berggren?
Well, he's playing tonight.
Okay.
So again, we'll probably give him an opportunity to succeed. He's going to be in our top 6 tonight. I know the last time he came up, it was kind of an emergency. We need a body. He played in our bottom 6. I don't know if that's quite where his skill set is. So he'll be in our top 6 tonight. We'll give him some opportunity. And again, we want a spark from him. He's a depth player in our organization. Obviously started in GR. We think he can help us, and he'll get an opportunity tonight.
Kane chose the Red Wings. I mean, it wasn't mutual, obviously,
Yep.
but I mean, he had options. What does that say about where you guys are? What does that like?
Yeah, I
make
think
everybody feel around?
even talking to the guys, the group yesterday, they're no different than anyone else. They're reading everything on Twitter. You just want to communicate exactly where it was at, and I think it was speaks volumes of where we've been and what we've done over the first 20 games. And I think obviously he's got a relationship with Alex and had some success in the past with him, but he's a very smart, knowledgeable hockey guy. I know when I met with him and Steve amongst 10, 12 other teams, you could tell he watches a lot of hockey. He's very observant. So I think he's excited with what we're trying to do too. So again, I think it's a credit to our group and our guys.
You talked about this yesterday, just New York coming in on such a dominant stretch. How much do you guys embrace these types of challenges early on in the season?
Well, I think there's a twofold to that challenge, in that the last time we were here, we were not very competitive. It was outside of maybe our first game in Boston on the road. It was one of our more. What's up, boys?
Sorry.
It's probably one of our more non-competitive games, and I give our group credit. We're kind of sitting where we're at. Battling where we're at because our guys bounce back from some situations. So without Dylan tonight, it'll be a tough task, but I'm excited to see how our guys handle it. This was a pretty poor performance last time we were here.
Thanks, Newsy.
Sparner, go ahead, bud.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you a question too.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
So, how did that feel? Just being out there?
Felt good, yeah. I mean, you know what? It's good to be back and back in the NHL. You know, obviously this is a great opportunity for me to join Detroit, and they're playing really well so far this year. So exciting to join the team and just get back out there and skate with NHL guys. And you know, I've probably had 60 to 65 skates already. You know, after the surgery. So just try to get up to speed here at the NHL level, and hopefully it doesn't take too long.
You had a number of different teams that I'm sure you were talking to. Why Detroit?
I just thought the fit was good, right? I mean, and that's not to say it wasn't good anywhere else, but you know, I think with a young team that's been playing well as of late, can kind of come in, build my game, not too much pressure right away on me with the success they're having this year, and you know, I think probably the DeBrincat factor had something to do with it too. You know, just being comfortable playing with him, and not only on the ice but off the ice, and yeah, excited to build that chemistry again. We had some really good moments in Chicago, so it'll be fun to play with him again.
How was that the process for you while you're going through rehab, and also I assume watching a lot of hockey to
Yeah.
kind of assess what,
Yeah.
your list was going to look like when
Yeah.
you started talking to teams?
It's crazy, man. I mean, I think you know, throughout the whole process, whether you start thinking about teams 2-3 months ago, whatever it is, it seems like your mind kind of changes every day. But I think throughout the whole process, I just felt like Detroit was always there. It was always in the back of my mind, kind of in my heart as well, to come join this team. And even to the point where check in with Pat Brisson and just see if Detroit reached out, or if they're calling, if they're interested. So it's exciting that it worked out.
Is there something about the way they play too that you think fits for you?
Yeah, I think they've been pretty. I think they've won 3 in a row here, and they've been pretty stingy defensively, to be honest with you. So I think that kind of goes hand in hand with them, with the way they like to transition and play offense and create that way too. So as far as the chance to play with some of these guys, it's not like it just has to be DeBrincat either, right? There's a lot of skill around the lineup, a lot of good players. And even mention a guy like Dylan Larkin, it'd be fun to play with him at some point too, just the speed he has up the middle and the way he can back off defensemen. And same thing with JT Compher. I know how competitive he is with just going up against him in the league, but also in the summer in Chicago. So just a lot of good pieces here, and it's a young team, but I think they're on the rise and chance to build something here.
You said that you had like 60 or 65 skates ready. How much contact have you taken?
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, I've taken. It's probably been, I would say, maybe a month and a half of contact. Maybe closer to 2 months. Started with one-on-one type of stuff. A kid by the name of Cody Goldbuff, who played in the league for a bit, came out and worked with me a lot. Played me really hard, which was kind of a battle at times on a day-to-day basis when you're just one-on-one with him and just trying to go through it. But he was great for me. Then we moved it up to 3-on-3 cross ice, and then all the way to 5-on-5, where we were just getting guys to come out and get up and down the sheet. So yeah, a lot of contact. I've taken hits on the hip, a lot of pushing, a lot of just like being against the boards, taking a hit, feeling just how that hip's going to feel with it, and nothing's really shown up. So it's been pretty exciting.
In that process, the surgery is so major. Was there a time you kind of tipped over into the okay, now I can see myself, more of the future being bright,
Yeah.
in that recovery?
No, I mean, I think just throughout the whole process, just getting better every day was something that was pretty incredible, especially early on. It was like, the pain was pretty much gone after the surgery, to the point where, I didn't need any of the pain medication or anything. It just felt so much better not to have that, impingement and bone on bone in the hip. So pretty much right away, kind of felt pain-free, and just I think after that it was more obviously you want the bone to grow in the joint there, but just like building up the muscles around the area that I've had so much atrophy from just years of not really being able to use the right muscles, right? So just building that back up, and it's obviously exciting when you get on the ice and you see the progress and you're moving the way you want, and there's not really restriction on the right side. I think that's one thing I've really noticed is the ability to cross over left over right, and also just the lateral movement in general is back for me. So it's exciting.
And it is such a unique surgery. Did you consult with any other athletes or people throughout that process
Yeah.
to kind of help you navigate that?
Yeah. So Nick Backstrom, obviously, Carl Hagelin. Talked to some other different people as well. Just thought it was important to get as much information about it as possible, and it seemed like all those guys were feeling good. So, it's still one of those things that's not really proven, but hopefully, in my case, I'm really optimistic about where I can go from here and how long I can play. So, just take it day by day, and we'll see what happens. But I think just the situation I was in, and talking with the doctors and multiple doctors and physicians and different things, physical therapists, just seemed the best way to go.
You, I know you love to watch hockey and pay attention to it. Did you become even more of a hound of watching games when you weren't able to do anything, and also, as like you said, it's just starting the process where you're just kind of keeping an eye on everybody you could?
Yeah, I think it's really no different from any other season, to be honest with you. I think put my son to bed, and then as soon as that happens, you turn on the TV and watch hockey games. So it's still the same. You still watch it as a fan. I think it was a little bit more unique in this situation because you're trying to see different teams and where you could possibly fit. But still watching it as a fan.
You mentioned, a couple of the guys you mentioned who've had this surgery. Obviously, Nick's out. And you said it hasn't really been proven. Is it just a belief in yourself and what your body is capable of that you?
No, I mean I don't want to say it hasn't been proven because I don't want to speak for those guys. I think, it seemed to me like Hagelin had to retire more because of his eye. Backstrom, I'm not sure what the full story is. But just within talking to the doctors, I think the one thing that got me was just that this would be something that I could play with for a long time, and I wouldn't have to, retire from. So that was the big thing for me.
You mentioned the young kids. Raymond is one of those guys. How do you feel like you know about him as a player?
Yeah, I mean, just from watching him this year, it seems like he's got a lot of confidence. Smooth skater, obviously a great puck handler, can make a lot of plays around the ice. Looks like he has a great shot as well, so he's had a great start to the year. I know he's a younger guy and he's a high pick, so they're probably looking for him to take a big step, but it seems like he's done that, and seems like he's got a bright future.
When do you think you'll play or can play?
It's hard to say. I mean, I don't want to put a timeline on it. I think, obviously, with the way I feel, I mean, you feel like you could play tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just probably getting back into it, skating with the team a little bit, getting acclimated with the whole new situation and everything, and then go from there. So hopefully it's a week, 10 days, something like that.
Uzi was very complimentary of your hockey IQ when he talked about the discussions you guys have had. What's been your early impressions working with him so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very smart coach. He was very impressive on the call we had. Just talking with him, his hockey knowledge, just his love and passion for the game was pretty evident. And then just talking about kind of what they like to do as a team and the way they like to play. And I thought it really kind of complemented the way I play too.
Thanks, Kane.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.